All right, it's WAN show time again, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you've all had a fantastic week. Beautiful, gorgeous Halloween full of beautiful, gorgeous, costumes of monsters that are at your house.
We're talking about children.
Ooh. We're off to a bad start on the WAN show today. Fortunately, we weren't planning to talk about Halloween today. We've got a bunch of other great topics for you, including YouTube P-scores. Did you know that my P-score is bigger than most people's P-score?
It's in the top 10 P-scores.
Yeah, top 10 P-scores. I have a bigger P-score than Will Smith. So we'll explain what exactly I'm talking about in a little bit.
We're also going to talk about Google buying Fitbit. Very interesting.
About time. Would you watch Netflix at 2x? Oh wow, that's going to be a conversation and a half.
I know.
We should invite David and Brandon over here. That'd be terrible.
Roll the intro.
Yeah, let's just.
I can't wait.
Whoops, wrong one. Sir Chicken says, I thought P-scores were trust me, she knows this video. What, I was talking about It's her company. How would she not know it's real?
You try to pee it from the toilet bowl, you get 10 points. You successfully clean the whole bowl. All right. For the last month, a handful of creators have been probing the HTML code of YouTube videos. Like when you right-click in your browser and hit inspect, you can see the HTML from whatever page you're on. And for the last month, around, October 8th or something, YouTube exposed some new HTML that wasn't there before. And it says all these funky things, like what the video's P-score is.
Yeah.
And then so they went ham with that, and they looked at the P-scores of many different channels and videos.
Yep.
And then they made all of these kind of assumptions about what that could mean. And they're freaking out. And I don't know how I feel about it.
So basically, there's a couple of pretty good articles about it. The one that I've got on my screen here is from medium.com. And I'm just gonna see if here we go. So here's an example of what the inspect source code looked like. So channel P-score, and we're talking pretty granular scoring of an entire channel. Like we're talking, what is this called? Five.
The precision?
I know.
You're thinking of sig figs.
I'm thinking of like metal. When like a metal is super pure, you talk about how it's like 2 nines or 3 nines, but this is like that, but not that at all. So you know what? Forget it. Whatever. The point is. They're basically, they've got such a degree of granularity in the way that they are quantifying what a channel's P-score is, that out of 1, 2, 3, how many places is this? 86 million channels, a 0.00001 difference between them could give one a higher P-score and one a lower P-score. So clearly that means they're taking a lot of factors into consideration here. And this is another really interesting piece. So this was data gathered by Balblax, Nicolars Diorio, Optimus, and Josh Prescatori of 10 top YouTubers' P-scores based on a randomly selected data set of large YouTubers. Now, admittedly, this was only out of 200 YouTubers. So when I show up on the top 10 of the top 10 YouTubers P-scores, right there. Yeah, that's right. Where's BBC News at now? Where's Will Smith at now? That's right. Linus Tech Tips, yo. Mind you, Jimmy Fallon is way better than me apparently, which, I guess I'll have to learn to live with.
But to be clear,
I'm just kidding. I think Fallon's funny.
We already knew that P-scores existed. It's not controversial that P-scores existed.
Yes.
We just didn't know what the numbers were. YouTube doesn't tell you what your number is. And which is for obvious, defensible reasons. Google never wants to expose, how their black magic works, because then people can exploit it and game the system. Yep. And they don't want to do that, so it's hidden.
So basically, what we know about the P-score is that it seems to dictate whether or not content is surfaced in YouTube's Google Preferred lineup, which is the advertiser-friendly, vetted, high-quality content. I'm using finger quotes, even though I personally think Will Smith is a national treasure and is absolutely vetted and high quality in every way on YouTube, and I definitely support his YouTube career.
But the point is that there's this thing called the Google Preferred lineup,
Yeah.
which is a select set of YouTubers where if you're a big brand, I don't know, remember Adpocalypse happened in 2018 where a bunch of big brands decided we're not going to advertise on YouTube anymore
Yeah.
because our product is being advertised in front of ISIS.
Or content, not just ISIS, content that we don't want our brand associated with.
Right.
That's a better sort of overarching way to put it.
So they made this short list of creators who are safe. So
Yeah.
if you're a Coca-Cola and you're like, look, just put me in front of something safe, now they have this list.
Yeah.
But naturally, they needed some kind of automated system that would make this list.
Well, Google Preferred has actually existed for a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
So we were
I
added to
believe
Google
2013.
Preferred. Yeah, we were added to Google Preferred back when they launched it, and that was early on in the days of Linus Media Group. The thing, though, is that Google Preferred, and YouTube is always sort of obfuscating things more. In the early days of Google Preferred, you could see not just who was in Google Preferred, but you could actually see a breakdown of just how preferred you were.
Oh, wow.
So I was in top 1% Google Preferred in the technology category specifically.
So Google Preferred as a whole is 5% of the creators?
It was, well, they have well, see, this is the thing. This is information that we wouldn't have if they hadn't originally exposed it to us, but at least at one point, though I don't know that it works this way anymore, they had a top 1% and a top 5%. And so, for example, Linus Tech Tips was a top 1% channel, probably by merit of its size, and TechQuickie was a top 5% channel, probably by merit of its lesser size. So what it seems like to me is that instead of just having like a 1% preferred and a 5% preferred, now this P-score is a much more granular way of determining just how safe and how advertiser friendly and how non-controversial that channel as a whole is likely to be. And
It's based on 5 dimensions, apparently. There's popularity, which is the size that you were talking about, and that's driven by watch time and engagement. There's passion, which is mostly channel engagement. Apparently, there's protection, which ensures the content is appropriate. Platform, which highlights content watched often on TV screens, which is the market that they want to grow into. And production values.
how do you quantify something? Sorry, Jack asked me to turn my hat around, so I will oblige. LTTstore.com, we've got a new hat. I was waiting for someone to ask me to turn my hat around. TechLinked hat.
Get lead.
Oh, right, we have a promo today too. Buy a TechLinked hat and get free cable ties. We gotta get rid of those cable ties somehow. Enjoy.
Bundles.
Yeah, that's right.
3,000.
Now I'm gonna turn it around one more time.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he
Wham,
did
wham,
it.
wham.
How do you do, fellow school children?
I know what I'm saying.
All right, so yeah, how do you measure the production values of a video? That is honestly something that I find kind of difficult to quantify. There's certain things you can, like was it uploaded in 4K, for example.
Yeah, you just get a score for each one of those.
But you could upload anything in 4K. I mean, this is something I get so tired of explaining to people. 4K is not inherently a measure of a video's crispiness, or whatever word you want to use to describe it, because I could take the most crap garbage footage off of a cell phone from 8 years ago. I could throw it in Adobe Premiere and I could export it in 4K, upload it to YouTube. It will look like crap garbage cell phone footage from 8 years ago. So it's the kind of thing that is extraordinarily difficult to measure. I mean, there's certain things you could do. Like you could use machine learning to scan for things like obvious distracting background noise. You know, like wind blowing through a microphone or something like
They
that.
probably look at it at a pixel by pixel basis because they do that for other systems that they have, like their content ID system.
That's true. I also do know that for top creators and for what is it? Yeah, for preferred. It is shocking how many real, actual Google employees watch a video. So it is possible that part of the production value scoring is handled by actual people.
Yeah.
But we don't know because Google is intentionally pretty opaque about the whole thing.
But I want to get into the controversial part of this topic.
Yeah.
And I want to know your opinion on where you stand, because those creators,
As someone with a high P-score, just saying I've got a huge P-score.
is it higher than 15?
Huge P-score, yeah.
Okay. The creators that are looking through this data, they discovered references to throttling. There's all these tags that involve the word throttling in the source code of these pages, and they believe it could indicate that Google or YouTube is doing two things. One thing called brand safety throttling, which is restricting the video's access or eligibility to ads. So
Yep.
it's not demonetized, where it's not
Yeah.
getting any ads put on it, but it's getting fewer ads or a certain type of ads. And then the other thing they think could be happening was what they call feature video throttling, which is just like serving your video to fewer people. But do you think their take on that makes sense?
See, the problem for me with a topic like this is it's really hard for me to appear unbiased, because my understanding is a P-score of above 500 is like pretty decent, or 700, I think.
Yeah, I think they said 700 to 800 is like you're getting into the Google preferred lineup territory.
Okay, so we're obviously well clear of that. Apparently our P-score is over 1,000.
Huge.
Which it's huge.
The biggest you've ever seen.
It's enormous. It's bigger than Will Smith's. That's gonna be, look, I was bound to beat Will Smith at something once in my life. It looks like this is gonna be it.
Oh my God.
This is it, I've crested. It's all downhill from here, because nobody is gonna put the time and effort into, bringing me back to my prime once I'm over the hill. So this is it, it's all downhill from here.
Will Smith, if this makes it to you somehow, can we please do a challenge video, like an Olympics, where you guys do various things and compete? That would be so awesome.
There's no way.
Badminton, basketball,
There's no way.
rapping.
Oh, man.
Take that sideways hat off right now.
Okay, so it's gonna be hard for me to come across genuine when I say no. I in fact do not think that this is as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, because I realize I'm speaking from a privileged position where we made a conscious decision back when Linus Media Group was founded 7 years ago. Yeah, actually, will it be? Oh my God, will it be 8 years when the calendar rolls over? Seven. Okay, thought I lost a year there. 7 years ago, when we founded Linus Media Group, we made a conscious decision to stay pretty family friendly and, by extension, brand and advertiser friendly, because when I founded the company, I was in a very precarious position. I only had around 200,000 subscribers on the channel, and because I didn't know the first thing about operating a camera or video editing, my intention was to go at it hard. Hire 2 people immediately, Ed and Luke, and then my wife was also doing some work for us on the side, even though she was supposed to be on her mat leave. Hire Ed and Luke, go, and we're gonna pump content. So Luke, you're gonna make sure that we're pumping lots of content. We're gonna get, a forum started so we have a backup plan. Ed, you're gonna do all the shooting and editing. You can do all that, right? And so I already knew that in order to survive, we were going to have to be able to engage with a wide variety of brands. So I was like, okay, let's say here and now, set it out here and now. We're not gonna swear on the channel. Like in my daily life, people often either act or are shocked when they meet me in person, and I'm like dropping F-bombs all over the place, because they're like, wait, what? Like in real life, I don't really care.
He's no saint.
I don't care. Like I don't care about cussing. It's not a big deal to me. And in my opinion, as a consumer of content, I don't notice it or care about it. But we made a conscious decision to bleep, to A, swear infrequently so that it has a greater effect, because that really does matter. I remember the first time I dropped a swear word with my friends in high school, because they had known me as like the kid who didn't swear. So I've kind of been all over the place on this issue. It was like, this must have been like very, very important. And then over time, the impact gets lower and lower and lower. So we made this decision to only swear when we felt like we really needed to emphasize something, and 2, to bleep it whenever we did it. And that was for 2 reasons. 1, to make sure that we aren't, for no reason, like for what good reason, turning off advertisers. It seems it's just entirely unnecessary to close down. Like, as a business owner, it would be irresponsible of me to be like, no, but my free speech, I won't put a beep sound in my video, you know, deal with it. What? No, I'm trying to run a business here. We need, like, over what?
There is some editing overhead.
Everyone knows, yeah, it's not much. Everyone knows what word I was saying. And two, personally, this is very, very personal. Most people probably won't agree. I find swearing much funnier if it's bleeped.
Bizarre.
I know,
That's very bizarre. Please turn your hat a different way. I hate it.
I will not. I will not, and I don't care. I have always found, so the first time I ever heard the Uncle Bleeper song from South Park the movie.
Okay.
The first time
Uncle
I ever
Bleeper.
heard it, yeah, no, whatever. I don't want this video demonetized, okay? Look, the first time I ever heard the song, it was bleeped. But it was not bleeped well. So that's something that I've given a lot of guidance to our editors on over the years. Like, sometimes they'll bleep things too much. One of the most egregious examples of this is the Stormtrooper rap. I did actually rap on the channel once, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, this is the Stormtrooper rap that we did in our review of the, what was this? Streets by 50 headphones. The way that it was bleeped was so bad. It was just, the bleep was over not just the spoken, like rapping audio track, but over the background music as well. So it just completely disrupted the song.
Oh no.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm all about tactical bleeping. So I think bleeping is the correct way to bleep because you obscure absolutely none of the meaning. But if there does happen to be a 4-year-old watching, and even if the parents don't care, people judge you if your kid shows up at preschool and teaches the other kids the F word. Like, it's just, that's a social norm, deal with it. So if there happens to be a 4-year-old watching, well, they don't know what that word is.
Yeah, sure.
Great, and if they do, well, that's not on me.
Okay, bring us back to P-scores.
Bring us back to P-scores. I don't remember what I was talking about, P-scores. Right, it's hard for me to...
We're just talking about the different dimensions that contribute to the P-score.
Right, okay, so...
We're talking about
so I made
the issue is the throttling.
I made a conscious decision to keep us advertiser friendly. But do I actually believe that that is giving us some kind of unfair advantage in any meaningful way on the platform? And I would say no. In fact, over the last year, we have, let me see how much.
Well, it's going to increase your P-score and brand safety. You don't think so?
Hold on a second here. I just want to.
For sure.
Yeah, in brand safety, sure. But here, I'm gonna bring up some analytics. I don't usually start diving into the inside baseball here because I'm always afraid to show something that because YouTube, I'm not supposed to show you guys. I hate this thing so much. What even am I looking at right now? Oh, wait.
You're looking at the year. That's why it's.
Yeah, no, like what is this? It must just be, what is channel analytics? What even, I'm in the wrong channel.
You released one video that year, that's what happened.
Yeah. This is just junk. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, BRB.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna explain why I don't think it's that big of a deal. So one is, in spite of our amazing P-score, sorry, I have to...
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I'm skeptical of this whole thing that they're saying. And it's because they think, there's so many things that happen to your videos that make you feel like you're being unfairly maligned or your video's not being served.
Yeah.
All these things that happen all the time, and we experience them, but our P-score is huge.
Yes.
So why would we still experience them?
This year has been a pretty big struggle at times for us. We were steadily in decline, all the way from January down until we hit rock bottom somewhere in the neighborhood of early July. Since then, you know what? No, this was probably rock bottom in end of May. End of May was rock bottom. That was the first time we had done 1.4 million views in a day since 18 months prior. That was, and to be clear, I'm not I'm not expecting you guys to feel bad for me. Linus Tech Tips is an extremely successful YouTube channel. My company is great. My staff is awesome. I don't expect anybody's pity, but what was alarming about all of this was that going from 2, 3, 4, 5 million a day down to 1.5 means that all of a sudden you might not be sustainable if that trend were to continue. You know, another 6 months of that, and we could be getting 1 million views a day or 500,000 views a day, and all of a sudden I'd be laying people off. So that's something that I've told myself I never want this to come to. So we've taken a very sort of responsible approach to growth, but we had also never seen sustained view hemorrhaging like that. And we got a lot of complaints from our viewers saying like, oh, well, I'm not getting notifications for your videos. I'm kind of like, yeah, well, that's nothing new though. So like what is it exactly that's changing? And so anyone I think who's looking at this P-score thing and going, oh, well, like that's the problem, I think you're missing the bigger picture, because during some of the most frustrating spells of declining viewership, we've actually had a really, really frustrating last probably week or so, ever since the Facebook portal video went up. I think people were really mad about that video, and maybe they thought it was sponsored by Facebook, or maybe they just couldn't handle that we were looking at the product for what it is rather than the bogeyman that we could imagine it to be. Like, it was just a straight up video about the Facebook portal, which is in marketing and advertising everywhere, and we kind of thought people would want to know about. But people are super mad, maybe because they thought it was sponsored, or we shouldn't cover it, or I don't know.
Well, it's that, plus a lot of our audience isn't going to be interested in it anyway. So
I get that, but ever since then, even on videos that we've thought are kind of slam dunks, like the tree planting cannon, that took a long time to gain traction. That started out as the worst video in the first couple of hours that we had released out of the last 10. And that included the Facebook portal.
Yikes.
And then now it's grown, it's got like 1.4 million views or something like that. So it's like really made up ground, but it seems like there's things that can happen that have much, much more dramatic effects. Because I can tell you guys for sure, our P-score didn't change that dramatically in those days. And the really frustrating thing is that during this time, we've had videos that are performing like hot garbage, and I'm getting notifications on my phone every day. You're on trending. Do you want to send a little notification to your little buddies who follow you on YouTube and let them know you're trending so they can congratulate you? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, because this video, there's literally, I click through the thing, and so I get this notification you're trending. I click through the thing, and then I've got this helpful little thing here that says 8 out of 10, down arrow, lower interest from subscribers and non-subscribers. What am I expecting you guys to congratulate me for here exactly? My epic P-score?
So how do you explain those tags for throttling?
I don't know. And so, okay, I have
a theory.
I think it's possible that they're throttling certain things, but I also think that people might be overestimating the importance of these things. So I got a trending notification for 4K video editing PC on a budget, which, in spite of having a great like to dislike ratio, pretty solid engagement in terms of people leaving comments on it, was a terrible performer for us. So I got this trending notification on it, but if we dig into my analytics for this, I hate the new Creator Studio so much. Oops, something went wrong, retry. Well, yeah. Seriously? Oh, so now it's just not working at all. Okay, give me a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to Creator Studio Classic, if I even still can. Here it is.
Just skip.
No, I'm giving them their feedback. The page wouldn't load. I'm sure glad that you guys are gonna start sticking people with this with no option to opt out when pages literally don't load it. Wow, I have to re-sign in.
Yeah, that's happening this month.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, for a select few people anyway.
Yeah, but you don't get to pick.
No, you don't. And there's also no guarantee that if you're chosen, that you're gonna be chosen for all of your different channels. So you could be only on the beta on Linus Tech Tips, but you're still available in Classic for Tech Quickie.
Yeah.
Not a consistent experience.
So let's go find that video again now that we're in the new manager. Sorry guys, I would just share you on all the navigation, but I've been told that there are certain confidential things in here, especially not necessarily with respect to like how much money do you make on YouTube, but with respect to what kind of CPMs you're making, that you are not allowed to share as part of it. Holy crap, stay on classic. It started putting up banners every time you try to navigate to a new page, and then there's this horrible header at the top of the screen that like you can't get rid of, like you can't close it. There's no button.
Here's my theory about the
hold on a second.
Throttling tags.
Where is the? Is there no way for me to get into this? I clicked Video Manager. You have got to be kidding me.
They definitely didn't change anything in here.
Okay.
Because they don't want to spend any resources doing that.
This is so stupid. Wait. Yeah, so I want to see the analytics for this video.
Here's the thing. That throttling tag could just mean that your P-score is being throttled. That there's certain aspects of your video that are contributing to a lower P-score. That's how I would interpret it.
Yes, that could be. I actually doubt that though.
Why?
Okay, here, sorry, give me a sec. I'm just trying to find this stupid thing. All right, you know what? I'm just not gonna worry about it. You guys will just see the revenue numbers for this video because I can't be arsed to hide it. All right, so here we go. Let's have a look at the analytics for this video. So in the time period we're looking at, which doesn't include today, that's normal. It's got 620,000 views, solid like-dislike ratio. You know, we generated some new subscribers. That's pretty cool. Shares is always low. I always get a kick out of people thinking that like shares is this super crucial metric. If something's gonna go viral, yeah, a lot of shares is probably great, but it's far from the main driving factor. What drives a video these days is, let me just see if I can get into, here we go. So let's have a look at watch time. But yeah, it's all algorithmic. So here we go. Let's go to views, because why would I want watch time to be my default? Why do I care about watch time on a video by video basis? Impression click-through, 4.68%. That's like kind of decent, actually, for the first couple of days. And if YouTube was serving as many impressions on this as they do for some of our videos, it probably would have performed better. Average view duration at 8 minutes is really solid. But let's have a look here. So one of the things that I think everyone pretty much agrees P-score affects is your ability to hit trending. That's why it's constantly Stephen Colbert, John Oliver, Jimmy Kimmel, and us. We're on trending like every day. But a lot of the creators that I talk to that are like, wow, yeah, you guys are doing so great. You're like on trending all the time. Like, yeah, look at the actual views on the video. So let's go back into—
No, those two are non-correlative.
Let's go back into the analytics here. So where's my sources? Traffic sources, here we go. All right, so browse features. This is your homepage, home screen, subscription feed, and other browsing features. So that's where we're getting 60% of our views from. Suggested videos. So suggested alongside other videos or after them. That's 17%. Channel pages. Traffic from YouTube channel pages or other people's YouTube channel pages or topic channel pages. We get another 6% there. That's unusually high. Direct or unknown. So this might be people sharing it off platform. Notifications. Where even is trending? I can't even find it anymore. Here, let's go.
Even in your precious classic view.
Is it in browse?
Ha!
Here we go. Okay. Woo! Right. So browse features is really good. So home is 67% of that. Subscriptions is 31% of that. Watch later is 1.8% of that. Watch history is 0.5% of that. This video hit trending and got literally 9,000 people saw it. And I'm pretty sure this one trended in more than one country.
Impressions, saw it.
Saw it, out of which 117 people watched it. So
90% of 1%.
Yes.
Click through.
So if people are imagining that this P-score giving you some kind of huge leg up because you're trending all the time is a big deal, that's a video that trended. I got literally 117 views, which registered as 0%. 0.0%. Not only that, but this is great. Of those people, they had the lowest average view duration. So they didn't even watch the video.
So it's actually detrimental for your video to be on trending because that just lowers your CPMs.
Increasing your bounce rate, won't lower
your
CPMs
your
directly.
CTR, your click-through
yeah,
rate.
your click-through rate. So it lowers your click-through ratio, but again, not in any appreciable way. And it increases your bounce rate. So the rate at which people jump into your video, go, this sucks, and leave, which is bad because that affects how the video gets promoted via the other mechanisms that actually matter. So yeah, this is great. Dead Polymers says, I never even look at trending. Right.
Well, why would you? Because it's just going to show you stuff. If you're not interested in tech and it puts it on your trending page, you're just like, you're not going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
Can we move on?
What were we talking about again?
Can we just move on?
So something else that I had wanted to talk about, and I can't give you guys exact numbers here, unfortunately, because it is one of the things that YouTube is extremely sensitive about. Creators sharing their ad fill rates, their CPMs, whatever the RPMs, whatever,
RPM.
whatever the effective, how much you're getting paid per view.
That's revenue per minute.
All that
per
stuff.
Million.
Yeah, per mil, per thousand.
Yeah.
MIL.
Yeah, million.
So your CPM, your cost per mil, which doesn't factor in people who use ad block or whatever else, and then your revenue per mil, which is just your overall, your aggregate score, or not score, like rate. They don't like people disclosing that stuff, so I can't give you guys exact numbers, but what I will tell you is as someone with a high P score, it's huge, my RPM, so the actual money that comes into Linus Media Group's coffers on advertising supported content was comparable or lower to even gaming channels who have notoriously poor CPMs that I talked to at the Top Creator Summit. I don't know if that's because of a high percentage of our users engaging ad block. I don't know. I don't really know what it's to do with at all, actually. And it's not the kind of thing that Google will talk about. They're very cagey anytime you're like, well, hey, how's our CPMs compared to other people in the space? They're like, fine. They're not really going to talk to you about that. So I can say that from my own experience, P-score doesn't appear to generate more revenue for me in any meaningful way. In fact, if I cared about increasing the revenue that we make from YouTube directly as opposed to the sponsorships and partnerships that we work on our own, I would be pushing everyone to sign up for Red. Or sorry, what would they call it? Yeah, YouTube Premium. Yeah, YouTube Premium. Because a viewer on YouTube Premium is worth, I forget what it is, it's something like 6 to 10x or something like that compared to a viewer who is ad-supported. Now, part of the reason for that might be that we do not include mid-roll ads in our videos, and that's something that I know YouTube is big on people enabling. So creating natural ad breaks within their videos and then plunking down mid-roll ads throughout the video. But the way that we see it, I kind of actually hope no one from YouTube is really watching right now. But you guys suck at monetizing mid-roll in a video. There is so much stuff that you guys could do way better, and giving top creators anyway, people who have the resources, access to better tools, I think could dramatically improve it. So you guys have probably noticed, if you watch our channel regularly, there's a spot for Honey, the web browser extension, that features me explaining what Honey is, but then that Honey is actually using as a pre-roll and a mid-roll on YouTube. Imagine if YouTubers had the power to work with brands to create their own pre-rolls and mid-rolls that instead of just being some random ad that's just plonked into a video, it was coming from a voice that the person watching actually wants to hear from. That's why integrations that are built into the video that are read by the host of the video command so much higher CPMs than random algorithm-driven stuff from Google. So the reality of it is, if we have the resources to manage it, it is actually more cost effective for me to employ not 1, not 2, but 3 people who pretty much their entire jobs are to go out and make these business deals and then include our own sponsor reads than it is for me to just not have them do it and plunk in YouTube's advertising. And we've tried it. We've trialed it.
How would YouTube make money off of that?
I mean, they could create the tools where
That costs them money?
That costs them money, yes, of course. So they create these tools, and then I would be willing to give them a cut. Because obviously I have overhead from running my own sales team, or in the case of a lot of other YouTubers, having an agent. It's pretty typical for an agent to take 10% right off the top, regardless of how much the deal is, or more. And there's a lot of deals out there that are more than 10%. I'd say 10% is like when you're someone like me and you have a pretty strong negotiating position, you can demand 10%. If you're smaller to the point where the deals coming in are so small that 10% would just not even be worth their time, you could expect to be paying quite a bit more.
I could see why they wouldn't build those tools. Their whole ad platform is based on the auctions.
Automation.
It's scalable.
I know.
There's so few, like, in an absolute sense, there's so few, or in a proportion sense, I mean, proportionally, there's so few creators that would even have this available to them who have, like, those connections and everything.
Honestly, though, I think that's part of their problem just as a company, is trying to turn everything into a machine learning problem. I mean, we have gotten away with making some pretty egregious mistakes with our sponsors and with our brand partners and with all the people in the industry that we work with. And through the magic of human contact, we've managed to smooth over the vast majority of those things. Whereas I think that's how Google ends up with things like adpocalypse on their hands. If they were actually talking to their partners all the time, I don't think they get blindsided by something like that. But this is me probably speaking out of turn. You know, I did attend Brandcast. That was a pretty cool show that they put on for their advertising partners, I guess. There was a cocktail hour after. Maybe that's all you need to do.
Well, you're just butthurt. You weren't invited to Team Day. 2 years in a row.
Speaking of butthurt, I would be butthurt if something segue, the sponsors for the WAN show. Right, speaking of it making more sense for us to just get our own sponsors. MOS! This is the Black Pack Grande! Basically, it takes the best features from both the Black Pack and the Grande. So it fits laptops up to 17 inches. It's made from 1680D ballistic nylon for abrasion and tear resistance. Its orange color interior makes it easy to find items inside the backpack if they're down at the bottom.
There's nothing in here.
And it has a built-in rain fly to protect your bag from the element. It just says element singular. I guess that makes sense.
Well, it's only rain.
Just water. I mean, if you have like lightning, it's not really going to do anything.
Will snow count as the same element?
Oh yeah.
Oh god, I shouldn't have done this.
The snow is definitely the same element. So their Kickstarter for this backpack is coming out soon. You can check out the link lmg.gg/MOS Kickstarter to check it out. It's going to be a limited quantity thing. So yeah. Available charging station, external pouches for water bottle. That's actually really, really nice to have. Does our water bottle fit? You know what? I'm not promoting their external water bottle pouch unless our water bottle fits in it. LTT.
I don't know. Our P score is so huge. I wouldn't be surprised.
If it didn't go in there.
Oh. Wow. What?
Does it fit?
Oh.
Oh, you know what? I think the issue is the lid holder.
I have another water bottle with me here.
Don't do that. Putting your YouTube water bottle in there.
Wait a second.
Is that one not
there's like an HDMI cable in here. No, there's a power cable in here.
Oh yeah, that's for the integrated battery thing. Okay, well at any rate, maybe they could make it. You know what, MOS, if you guys are watching, love your backpacks, but can you make this just a little bit bigger so that my water bottle fits in it? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. So go check it out, lmg.gg/MOS Kickstarter. The show is brought to you by Freshbooks.
Nervous laughter all throughout the department.
Oh, right, hold on. So again, if you don't have Honey already, that was joinhoney.com/Linus. Freshbooks. Freshbooks is the super simple to use invoicing tool that does more than just help you create slick looking invoices. You can track your time with their timesheet function. You can manage your expenses, keeping track of who owes you what. The mobile app has all the functionality of their desktop version, so you can take FreshBooks with you on the go. I really need to get my sim back in the fold. I actually put it in my backpack. I'm going to switch back to it this weekend. I just logged out of all my accounts because they were shooting B-roll, and that seems pretty stupid to have like the CEO's email signed into a phone that someone's just like using. And if you have any trouble, you can contact their support staff and talk to a real human being for help. So visit freshbooks.com/WAN and enter WAN in the How Did You Hear About Us section when you sign up for your free trial.
WAN.
WAN. I can't figure this out. WAN.
Let's go right to Netflix.
Contact support. You want to go to the Netflix thing?
Yeah. I just
right.
want to make sure we have time for it. I want to talk. We need like another hour on this show.
Dude, I want some Savage Jerky. I am so hungry. I didn't get a chance to eat today.
Okay, here's the thing. So Netflix is trialing on Android mobile devices the ability to alter your playback speed, just like you can on YouTube. You can go 0.5 speed, 0.75 speed, normal speed, 1.25, and 1.5. Now, interestingly, even though I usually speed stuff up, I have heard from people who slow it down. People who have English as maybe an additional language,
okay, sure,
they'll watch
yeah,
it more slowly.
Yep, that makes
Whereas
sense.
there's a lot of other people who watch certain types of content really fast because they like more information density, especially if you're watching like a college lecture or something like that. Or frankly, when I watch our videos, especially if I'm looking for certain information just as reference, I just crank it up to 1.75. I feel is a good one, sometimes 2.
I usually have a hard time with 2 unless the host is kind of one of those slow talkers who seems to be kind of thinking while they're presenting.
You know what's weird though is when you crank it up, at first it sounds weird, but then very quickly it sounds like that could just be their normal presenting speed.
Yeah. I've had people walk up to me in person and be surprised at how low the pitch of my voice is because they always watch at 1.5 or 2x. It's kind of funny.
I've thought maybe we should just like export our content faster and just save people from having to do that.
We could. I wouldn't do it on the main channel, but if we had like a secondary channel that's like Linus Tech Tips faster.
Faster than fast as possible.
Yeah. Faster than possible.
Okay, so
anyway,
they're trialing this thing, and there's some notable members of like the Hollywood community, I guess, the film community, who spoke out about it.
Yeah.
Judd Apatow tweeted about it, as did Breaking Bad star Aaron Paul. Apatow said, "No, Netflix, no. Don't make me have to call every director and show creator on Earth to fight you on this." Aaron Paul said, "There is no way Netflix will move forward with this. That would mean they are completely taking control of everyone else's art and destroying it. Netflix is far better than that. Am I right, Netflix?"
Can I present, okay, so, this is interesting. Vimeo apparently allows creators to decide whether playback controls are exposed. That could be an interesting middle ground. May I play devil's advocate here for a moment?
Lay it on us.
So, Mr. Powell, you're all upset about like your art and whatever. Are you the customer?
That's an interesting question.
Who exactly are you, Aaron Powell? I'm sorry, I don't actually know who that is. Who are you to tell me how I consume my content? Exactly.
But don't.
What if I like it better?
Dude, it's the dude from Breaking Bad, Jesse.
Sure. And that says Paul. So it probably doesn't help that there was a typo in our doc.
Oh, there we go. That's way easier.
Yeah, I had no idea who Aaron Powell was.
You knew who Aaron Paul was?
Didn't know that either.
Come on.
Well, no, I would recognize his face. I don't follow.
I didn't know his name
Hollywood.
either. I saw the new movie. I watched the show. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, but it's not a matter of who are you. Okay, I know who you are, but okay, so you're a famous dude. So famous dude gets to decide how I consume content. So wait, does Kellogg's get to include a manual in the cereal box?
Well, then why is it when we review monitors and we go through our color, like we always care about having color accurate settings.
Yeah.
We care about how the game is supposed to look or the movie is supposed to look, especially on our TV settings. That's following the intent of the creator.
And that's our prerogative. If I wanted to crank the vivid setting of my monitor up to 100% and crank the sharpness, I can call myself a tacky, half obviously like either blind or high idiot.
Sure.
But that's my right as a consumer.
How about this?
Fine, go ahead.
Because one argument I think that Apatow was making is like you spend so much time over the pacing of the video and like how long shots are held for and all this stuff. And then if you're watching at a different speed, that could be different. So people, let's say this catches on and weirdos, in my opinion, are watching like dramatic content, not documentaries or other informational content. They're watching like dramas at 1.5x speed.
Yeah.
And then they're going online and they're voicing their opinion on these works of art. They're giving reviews. There's like critical consensus based on something you didn't really make.
Okay, so by that logic, should we ban skimming in books for fear that people will go and leave a review of the book having actually skimmed over some paragraphs?
Well, that's not possible. You can't enforce that.
Right, and I'm saying you can't enforce this. Once you ship the art, it is up to the user to enjoy it the way that they wish to enjoy it.
Maybe they feel like this because Netflix is a middleman. It's basically it's a broker of the art.
Correct.
And so they're enabling these tools. I like the Vimeo approach. I like the Vimeo approach of saying, if the creator thinks you should have this tool, then the creator can give you the tool.
Yeah, I guess so. The problem though is that then you are, because really Netflix is only sort of the middleman, because Netflix has worked hard to position themselves as an end-to-end content delivery platform. So I think the way that a lot of people view their television or movies is like watching on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I'm watching Netflix. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm watching Netflix?
Bazillion times.
Right. They're not saying, I am watching Aaron Paul, star of Breaking Bad, through the intermediary platform Netflix. They're watching Netflix. And so from a Netflix standpoint, if they're trying to build a user-centric experience, they're gonna push features that maybe partners don't like the ability to download episodes onto your phone so you can watch them offline.
But it's weird
or the ability to watch at a different speed if you're in a hurry. Some of us have a life, Mr. Paul.
They also made they collaborated with some TV brands to have like a Netflix calibrated mode. So, and with the express purpose of being able to consume the content as the director wanted you to.
Right,
but it is
that
a choice.
is the choice. And
Okay.
if Netflix was making this the default, if Netflix was sitting there going, okay, they got their board, right? They're around the boardroom table, and they're going, imagine this. We speed up every movie by 7%, increasing user watch time by 7% and our revenues by 7%.
It's good.
Right. If they went and that was their motivation behind making an accelerated view speed the default option so they could extract more, actually no, they'd be paying more royalties. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, they slowed it down by 7%. I don't know, it doesn't matter.
That would be egregious.
If they were doing it, if they were making it the default, and if they were doing it for some kind of money-grubbing reason, then I would be outraged. If the default is a correct color profile at the correct speed and with a minimal interface with no interruptions, that is correct. And then if anyone's upset about additional options and features that Netflix wants to provide to its users, presumably based on user demand, I mean, they're only trialing the feature. If people hate it, then they're probably not going to keep it in there.
No, people will use it.
Of course people will use it.
I would use it sometimes. I might use it for a documentary.
I was going to say a documentary.
That's great.
It would totally make sense. I mean, David Attenborough is his voice is so deep anyway.
No, but check this out.
Yeah.
They put in an auto pitch correction feature,
really?
so you can speed it up without altering the sound too much.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That kind of is weird though. I kind of want the altered sound to like remind me that I'm consuming it in not the normal way.
So, I mean, it's not going to be perfect.
No, it won't.
Here's the thing. I was playing devil's advocate there. I do not think that particularly narrative content should be sped up. I believe in using a color calibrated profile on my display. I believe in consuming the content the way that the creator intended. And for that reason, I actually end up consuming less content than I otherwise would. If I was willing to watch I can't call it the new Blade Runner, even though it is relatively new. If I was willing to watch it on my phone or on a plane, I would have seen it already. Mm-hmm. But I'm waiting until
Thank you for that.
I'm waiting till I have 2.5 hours.
We should watch it here.
I'm totally
Oh,
down.
that subwoofer would be sick.
Should totally watch it here. I'm down to, but I won't consume it until I have 2.5, 3 hours to sit and watch it properly, and when I don't have my wife around because she doesn't want to see it. So that's why I haven't seen it yet, because I'm waiting for a lot of stars to align, but I will watch it. Yeah.
The reason I put this topic in here was because I believe Yvonne told me that she has watched TV shows sped up.
So Yvonne, this is
like
great,
movies.
because philosophically, she and I are so different from each other. For her, a lot of the time, a TV show or a movie is keeping her company.
Okay.
While she sews or whatever. She's not even really paying attention to it. And then sometimes she'll get like drawn in, and then it's like, sorry, how many seasons of this friggin' thing are there? And she will literally go read the synopsis.
Yeah. She told me she wanted to like
like,
catch up. So she wanted to watch the new season when it came out. So she just read the Wikipedia page for every episode of the previous season to like get caught up. And I was like, that's like, I guess it's similar to watching it passively when you're also doing another thing.
Honestly, you probably absorb more that way.
You absorb more of a certain aspect of it.
Yes. So she has a very, very different way of consuming content than I do. And so who are you, Mr. Paul, to tell my wife that she's not allowed to watch your movie the way that she wants to watch it? No, go screw yourself. Like, no one asked you.
How dare you?
What? I didn't ask. I didn't ask him. I don't need his permission.
He has kind eyes. You tell him to screw himself.
Well, look, I'm not in general, just about this specifically. Who are you to tell me how to read my book? Who are you to tell me how to watch my movie? It's my movie now. I paid you for it.
True.
And you know what? If you were creating your art on your own platform at no cost to the consumer, if you were distributing it for free, you know what? You could make the argument that you have a lot more say with respect to how it gets consumed. But as soon as you are doing it for money, for a paycheck, you kind of lose some of your artist rights as far as I'm concerned. You were compensated already. I don't owe you anything.
So would you be in favor of a feature that allowed you to click it on to view this movie in black and white?
I mean, there's nothing that would prevent you from doing that already. You could probably do that through your NVIDIA control panel, honestly. So no, that feature already exists.
I mean, like if it's just like a Netflix feature, you're like,
I doubt people would demand that. I personally would never use it. But I mean, we could talk about it the other way too, automatically colorizing black and white content.
that's actually even...
That's more applicable.
It's not only more applicable, but it's also kind of more interesting because it would have to take liberties. Like the machine would have to just guess. Absolutely.
And so, no, if there was demand for it from users, no, I would be supportive of that. I would never use it. I would, if I was in a room and someone else was trying to turn on any of this crap, I'd be mad. And I'd be like, look, can we watch it properly, please?
But you watch every movie with subtitles on.
To a lesser degree now, because I switched to a BFGD and the local dimming causes subtitles to have a halo around them that I find very distracting. So no, actually, my most recent binge show, which was the puppet one, Dark Crystal. My most recent binge show, no, I turned off the subtitles after the
You know, I kind of, after you told me you did that, I started doing it a little more often. And I like it. You miss differently.
Yes.
Because you're looking down here.
Yeah.
And you're not taking in the full shot
I would
all
never
the time.
turn on subtitles for a movie I'd already seen.
Yeah.
Like if I was rewatching Empire or something, I wouldn't turn on subtitles.
I think sometimes I would, because
Really?
I tend to miss the same things again and again on repeat viewings. It's like my attention span has ebbs and flows, and they're predictable. It's like 25 minutes in, I think about something else, and I miss the same line every time.
And subtitles actually do tend to have information that is not always easily distinguishable by ear. Like you'll hear a line in the background that you couldn't understand, or you'll see it, and like, that's what they said.
By that same token, I hate that with subtitles, there's different languages available, German and Spanish. English, it's not just English subtitles, it's closed captioning. So you get engine whirring, inaudible, door clanks. I hate that. I wish there's just subtitles.
Part of it is just getting used to it. Like my mom is hard of hearing, so we always had subtitles on in our house. So I just accepted subtitles as part of, well, if I want to watch TV at all, then there's subtitles on.
Have you ever seen a movie with subtitles you don't want?
I
saw Force Awakens in, I believe it was Malaysia when it came out, and there was 2 sets of subtitles.
Yeah, that's pretty distracting.
Taking up like a third of the screen, both in languages that I couldn't read.
But Disney has no right to tell me that I can't have 2 sets of subtitles if I see fit. That's my point. And I know I had an argument with the camera guys today about the upcoming resurrection of Channel Superfun, which we're taking our sweet time with. I'm sorry, but it'll happen eventually. And we were choosing between a couple of different cameras because it's time to upgrade our gear for like run and gun. We don't really have any run and gun cameras that are not manual focus and stuff. And between the two cameras, one of them is 2 pounds heavier but has 4K 60 FPS recording. And the other one is 2 pounds lighter, but does not. It only does 4K 30 FPS. And I said, okay, well, we have to consider the very real possibility that we're gonna be shooting at 60 FPS. And they were both like upset to the point where one of them threatened to refuse to shoot it if we shot at 60
I know who
FPS.
did that.
And my response was, well, it doesn't actually matter what you think because you're not the customer. You know, you look at the other channels that are like dudes goofing around and like having fun or whatever, you know, so Mr. Beast would be obviously the archetypal channel like that right now because they are just absolutely killing it and they shoot everything at 60 FPS.
For some types of content, it's at a level of realism that is kind of nice.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a 24 frames per second kind of person. But for some things, especially if it's a first-person view kind of how-to, like here's my hand grabbing this thing, the wrench, that's great.
And the point that I made to them was like, look, you can have your opinion. Personally, I prefer 30 FPS to 60 FPS too, and that's why Linus Tech Tips will be 30 FPS for the foreseeable future, except in cases where we're doing something more artsy and it's gonna be 24. But you make content for the viewer, not for your own smug, self-satisfied, patting yourself on the back in a lot of cases, and you have to consider what the viewer is going to expect. And
there's a limit to that though. Because you can look at the kind of
Sure.
things that are popular on YouTube, and you can look at some of these creators, and you'll be like, "I would never stoop that level. I don't see what people see in this video, but it's getting so many views. How?"
That's true,
But
but
you won't make that content.
I'm not allowing my judgment to be clouded, and quite frankly, that is the way I see it, to the point where I'm going to have the frame rate of the video be the hill that I'm gonna die on. That's not the content. Content is king. The frame rate of the video is nothing more than a viewer comfort element. And if people are expecting, if the audience for this type of video is expecting 60 FPS, then they should get 60 FPS.
I don't know, I feel like
It's gonna be jarring.
there's a medium is the message type of thing there.
And the other thing too is that this is the direction things are heading, whether snobby movie people like it or not. For 2 generations now, Google's Pixel phones have recorded video at 60 FPS by default, given enough ambient light. By default, without asking the user. So that's something that is happening. We already have complaints on our videos about, well, other tech channels record in 60. Why are you guys too budget and ghetto to like record at 60 FPS? Because we did it for aesthetic reasons. I'm sorry you wouldn't understand.
Recording on the phone is completely different.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because how much of the content that we produce and consume is driven by mobile now?
No, but
And where's that trend line
the things
going?
that you're capturing on your own personal device when you're taking a video are probably more conducive to being in 60.
But it's about what people are used to.
They're not cinematic.
If people are used to watching a Channel Superfun style of content at 60 FPS, and our channel is 30, I have seen it. People are like, oh, why is the frame rate so low? It sucks.
Oh, that could be.
It sucks, it's
That
stuttery.
could be.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
not,
For
it's
that
not
type
smooth.
of video, that could work. Like
Exactly.
I said.
So all I was saying was, we need to be open-minded here. We need to do some market analysis like a real company, see what people are going to expect, and we need to adapt to that. And I think I made my point, but you know, you never know.
And the next generation of creators are mobile.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nick's over there.
Yeah. What can I do for you, Nick?
Exclusively mobile. That's why YouTube is like totally redoing all their stuff to keep up with TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys talk about the new hat?
Yeah, we did. It was
Oh,
actually
sweet.
like the first thing we talked about.
Oh, heck yeah.
I
Did you
bef-
talk about all the stuff that's been restocked on the store?
No, actually. So lttstore.com, guys, we've got underwear back in stock in all sizes. We've got all the hardware series shirts.
Except for that one.
Except for GPU. Sorry, so CPU, RAM, hard drive. We've got all of those. Yeah, fan.
I like that one.
Those are in stock in all sizes. We've got restocks coming for Constellation as well as TechLink shirt. Water bottles are obviously in stock in
That
all
was
colors,
perfectly
I think.
synced. Did you see that? That was great.
Beautiful.
Swackets are in stock for now in all sizes.
Dang it. My ice broke free. Yeah, Swackets in stock in all sizes. I wouldn't expect that to last that long. We've already sold through over 30% of them. We've only had it in stock for a
More
week
than
and a
half
half.
now.
More than half?
Yeah.
Of Swacket?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. There you go. So move fast if you want a Swacket in your size. I recommend Swacket plus Stealth Hoodie. With the way the Stealth Hoodie fits a little snug and Swacket fits a little looser, so together with a little bit of windbreaking from Swacket, it's actually like super warm. I was walking my daughter to school. It was apparently 5 degrees out, and I had LTT shirt, Stealth Hoodie, and Swacket over top, and I was like, this is fine.
Now we need a beanie.
Yeah, now we just need a
Swack
beanie.
on, swack off, the Swacket.
Swacket does fit on the tighter side, so
Yeah.
just be mindful of the sizing.
You just
Yep.
said the opposite of that.
No, I said Swacket fits tighter.
No, you said Stealth fits tighter.
Oh,
and
Swacket
you
fits
wear
tighter.
Swacket on
Swacket
top.
fits tighter?
Yeah, you're just really small. You
Oh.
should be a small and you wear medium.
Well, whatever. All right, well, I'm going to let James go because I think his carpool is like leaving.
I didn't
left.
carpool.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. So,
No, I'm house sitting in Maple Ridge and finding out what it's like to live in the burbs.
you know I grew up in Maple Ridge, right?
You don't think it's a burb?
In the ghetto.
I grew up from Mission, dude. It's
Oh,
even
yeah.
farther.
Oh, that's right. Why did I hire a Mission kid? If I'd known you were from Mission, I might not. Honestly. So, my family never watches my videos, so they'll never see this. But I thought it was a huge mistake when my mom sent my youngest sibling to high school in Mission. No offense.
What year did that person graduate? Like, they're way younger.
They're like 9 years younger than me or something.
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
never mind then.
Yeah, no.
even close.
But like, I don't know. Maybe it was just his group of friends,
Nope.
but they
Hey!
just like,
Nope.
I don't know, man. They just seemed like, it was like, I don't know. They just, it's like, hey, what can we light on fire? And I'm just like, what? Yeah, I'm like,
You
I
lit a
like-
bullet on fire.
I like lighting things on fire too, but it just seemed dumber when they did it. I don't know.
There's a
Dumber than a bullet?
There's a legendary story of someone from my high school where they tried to have like a relatively small party, like 30 people or something.
Yeah.
One person from Mission found out, and 200 Mission kids showed up and trashed the house.
I was there.
You were?
But I have trashed a
I
house.
wouldn't have been that surprised.
I've been at a house trashing party. I don't know what the context was, but it was like, we're not living here anymore, and we're allowed to smash it somehow, and there's no adults here.
Oh, wow.
Screw my security deposit.
See, I've never been to any party, so that sounds doubly horrifying to me.
Super chats?
Yeah, let's do some super chats.
Yeah.
Gavin Fair says, please give credit to Optimus. He found this data.
Yep. He's talking about the Peace Corps thing. There's like 4 YouTubers there.
Oh,
Optimus was the one who made
wait, did I not list the, did I not
I
list them?
think maybe you used his real name and not his tag or handle.
Okay, cool. Credit to Optimus. Sander says, hey Linus, are you a weed smoker? No, I am not in fact a weed smoker. Good question. Oh, a second super chat from Sander. All caps. I'm sure you are a weed smoker.
Why? Why would you think that?
I've had a lot of people
It's because you're wearing this hat and hoodie.
It's because your eyes are red a lot.
It's not. My eyes are red a lot because I'm tired AF. I've had people assume that I am both high on weed and high on coke, and sometimes they draw the same conclusion, or those two conclusions from the same video. And I think it is, people obviously just don't know what people on drugs look like, because if you're gonna go those two different directions from one video, you just got no idea what's going on. Robert says, hello from Ohio Linux Fest. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hi.
Long live free open source. Congrats on the Peace Corps top 10. Thank you. Jeremy says, did Luke end up wearing red to BlizzCon? Luke is sick as a dog.
He's so sick that he didn't go to BlizzCon.
Yeah, he's not at BlizzCon.
That sucks, man.
Adam says, is it worth upgrading to a 2080 from a 1080? I don't know. It depends on if the games that you want to play are not running as fast as you'd like them, because it's definitely faster.
Did you guys talk about Diablo 4 got announced or something?
We did not talk about Diablo
didn't know
4.
that.
It's on TechLink today. Go watch TechLink.
Yeah, there you go.
Gavin says, shout out to Optimus for finding this data. It's all in caps this time. Sage says, wanted to let you know I got your mineral oil parts at LTX this year, and they are now in my Plex server. I thought you'd like to know what happened to them. Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Gavin says Linus is a boomer. Why is Gavin sending all these super chats?
Hey, Gavin wants us to have his money. Thank you.
I'm not a boomer. I'm a millennial.
He's a millennial.
Love
He's an
my
elder millennial.
I have my avocado toast with genuine tuna, okay? Not the tuna that's like 60% other fish, all right?
You're not even an elder millennial.
No, I'm like smack right in the
86,
middle, I
right?
think.
Yeah.
86.
Well, it's not the middle.
I think it is, isn't it? What? Yeah, if it's a melt, you
A
get...
true millennial.
Okay, first you get your multi-grain bread, okay? All right? You butter the one side, you know, free-range butter or whatever. Then you throw your tuna
You're
on
describing
there.
a tuna melt.
You throw your tuna on there. You put your cheddar cheese. You put that sucker on the frying pan. You cover it up top so your cheese melts nice and fast, okay? Then you take your fresh sliced avocado. You put that on top. Get a little bit of salt on there.
You never had brunch in Vancouver, have you?
That's not avocado toast. That's just tuna melt with avocado.
It's toasted, is it not?
Not technically.
What do you mean not technically? Do I have to make you one? Okay?
Yeah.
Because it is brown on the bottom. That is, okay. It's toasted via frying pan.
Okay, can we have more super chats, please?
James is like, I have real avocado toast to go find.
For dinner.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, PVT Topol. Ilya, I would be extremely grateful if you stopped using D-brand skins in non-D-brand sponsored reviews. I'd be extremely grateful if you were chill with me wanting my devices to be protected from incidental scuffs and scratches. Tommy Gunn says, was watching old vids and noticed that your company grew up and got a bit boring. Thanks.
Well,
Okay.
they have me to thank for that.
Matthew says, love your channel, guys. Keep up the good work. Watched over all your videos over the last year. Wow. I won a 9900K on an RG Hero, 32 gigs of RAM, and an EVGA 2080 Ti FTW3 hybrid card. Well, it's too bad you didn't show up at the Micro Center in California like a couple weeks ago in Tustin. Yeah, because we basically gave away one of those. Video coming this weekend. Don't miss it.
Oh my god, I just realized I'm supposed to go to the movies in 1 hour.
Captain Pepper says, when can we get that hot LTP desk pad from last video?
Soon TM.
Soon TM.
See you later.
All right, see you, James.
Bye, James.
Jorn says, long time archive watcher, first time watching live. Sweet. Austin says, would you consider using a Lightroom export benchmark as a real workload that, oh, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, we would consider using that. That's a very good idea. I'm going to forget, though, because I'm in the middle of live streaming. Maybe, like, tweet at Anthony or something, because he sort of dictates what our test suite is now. Andrew says, finally able to catch live. Been wanting to ask for nearly a year now. There's a keyboard clicking noise during the intro just after Swamp Butt. I need to know what that is. Oh, wow. We created that intro like 5 years ago or something like that. I have no idea. I'm so sorry. It could very well be a keyboard clicking noise.
It could very well be you typing in the background.
It could very well be me typing in the background while it is like recording something. Bobby says, leave the hat the way it is. Oh, dang it. All right, I'll put it back. Adam flashes that TechLink logo. Thanks, BlitzFab. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks, Little Shadows. Thanks, Seth. Any idea when the ROG Rig Reboot winners are announced? We're actually shooting ROG Rig Reboot next week, so if you don't know about it already, you probably didn't win. I'm so sorry, just a lazy bastard. Cole says, forget interlacing. With 2K, 4K high refresh monitors, maxing out video cards, why not make a setup where each card handles a separate display? So it's complicated because they still have to share data between their VRAM, so you still run into SLI scaling issues, so it's not going to help. Sup, nerds, take my money, visit LTT store, says B Wasabi. Sup. Lil Shadows, thanks for the super chat. Rainbow says, 90s called, they want their bad haircut back. Well, yeah, well, you know what? Grade 3 called, they want their improper use of the word their back. T-H-E-I-R, sucka, not T-H-E-R-E. Yeah. I don't know. I get kind of confrontational when I wear my hat like
I
this.
think it might be time to go home.
Yeah. Seth says you can show your analytics on how much you make in each video or anything about your income. It's complicated, so it's not quite that simple. Yes, you can show certain things. Like I believe you can actually show the overall number, but it's as you drill down into it that YouTube gets really cagey about it. Don't quote me on that. I don't actually know that there's anything in the contract. I just know that they don't like it. Robert says, was wondering what you think of my gaming PC. It's got a 9500 GT. Hey, it's not about the car you drive. It's about how you drive it. Hell says, Super Chats are basically paid Twitter Q&A. Yeah, pretty much, I guess, now that I think about it. Martin says, would you mind giving a shout out to Rockfish Games and supporting their Kickstarter of Everspace 2? We're not going to run out and support a Kickstarter of a game just because like we have no idea what the finished game is like, but I guess effectively you got it.
But we do not endorse it though.
Thanks, Schulier. Phil Wood says, insomnia, ad jingles are the worst thing, and a lot of voiceovers. Narrators can also get on the nerves. I support via other means. I have no idea what you're talking about, Phil, but thanks for the super chat. Andrew says, I want to test my motherboard, but the CPU hasn't arrived yet. Can I test it without the CPU? No. Eric, should I, as a YouTube Premium member, accept when YouTube doesn't notify me about new content when I've hit the bell and subscribed, or should I be raising a stink because I'm now a paying customer? What a great question that I would love to have had a longer conversation with my co-host about. I don't know. I feel like I'm more entitled to complain when I'm paying for a service versus it being ad-supported. It's effectively the same thing. You're paying with your time or you're paying with your money, which are effectively the same thing. Time equals money. We all know the famous equation. But yeah, no, I would say that you're more entitled to raise a stink. I mean, I complain about G Suite because my reminders don't friggin' work, and I'm a paying customer for that, whereas free users of Google Assistant, they get their reminders working. Tommy Gunn says, where'd the Maxonomic chairs go to? Vertigear sent us over these RGB ones, and they're RGB, so like, what's up? Drake, for a faster playback channel, tech quicker. Yeah, I like that. Robert says, I for one watch TechWiki at 2x speed. That's good. Nico says, love from your southern neighbor in Seattle. Any plans to make a long sleeve shirt, preferably in black? I think we're still okay. I think I know the story here. So our t-shirts are all American Apparel, and American Apparel does not have just like a simple long sleeve t-shirt effect, like a long sleeve shirt. And so we won't be able to do one until we've found what we consider to be an equivalent replacement. And that may end up looking like us replacing our t-shirts as well, but we will not settle for anything less than what people have come to expect from us. So that's why we haven't done one yet. Honestly, the long sleeve shirts that we did before in the past, where they were printed on like Hanes or whatever, are some of the most disappointing pieces of merch for people to wear up to me, not because I don't appreciate their support, but just because I hate that I took their money for it. The printing just doesn't hold up over time. The cuffs don't hold up over time. Like this stealth hoodie has been worn and worn and worn, and it's still got all the elastic in it. Like that matters. Whereas like those Hanes long sleeves, they get all like kind of sort of uneven around the edges of the cuff and stuff. I really hate it. Thanks, Liam. Thanks Kato.
Did you know that watching a video at 2 times in terms of watch minutes still counts as the full watch minutes?
I did know that. So we'd be better off actually uploading everything at half speed and having you guys double it. Kurgel says, about the Netflix thing, why is there no outrage about TV channels showing movies with commercial cuts interrupting the pace, for instance? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't think any of the artists think that that's the best way to consume their movie. I guess they're over it at this point. Okay, let me have a look here. Oh man, the problem with when we start super chats is people start super chatting up a storm, and like I can't. I don't know if I can finish them all. There's too many. Ilya says, you enable subtitles for a movie in your native language. Yeah, sometimes I don't like it to have a movie that loud, so I'd like turn on subtitles. Daniel says, looking forward to the Netflix feature. There you go. NYC, I've been waiting for the Project Orthrus case to come out for a while. Maybe you could use your power to talk to the creator. Oh man, I don't think I ever even talked to the creator. I think it was Ivan, and he doesn't work here anymore. Qwerty says, you should try uploading a couple of videos at 60 where it's just double 30 FPS. We actually did that once, and nobody noticed. They were like, oh wow, this is sick. And it was just, we had just interpolated the extra frames. I wish I could find that video because it was hilarious. But we did it so stealthily that it's like not in the title of the video or anything. We just did it as an internal test to be like, can people actually tell the difference? No, turns out they actually cannot. Oh, Joey says, I sent an email to the help of the Linus Tech Tip store about a size exchange a week ago and haven't gotten a response. Well, fortunately, Nick is standing right there.
Yeah, I'll have to look back at that. If
So
you can tweet at me with your order number.
it's for Joey. Tweet at NickLMG with your order number, and he will definitely get it sorted out.
Yeah.
Zach's saying, thanks, Zach. Thanks, Joshua. Stanley says, can you do an update video of the PG35 VQ? Maybe attempt fixes with the flickering or scanner. I don't have any flickering issues with it. Honestly, my only issue with it has been that it doesn't go to sleep sometimes. So I have seen people talking about it, but like, I don't have the problem. So I don't really know how to address it. Yeah. Plex Addict says, Unraid or ZFS for large storage? If you don't need speed, Unraid. If you do need speed, then you'll probably have to go ZFS and deal with the extra hassle that comes with that, like having to upgrade in big chunks of drives at a time and stuff. Corey says, thoughts on 9900KS? Got a video coming. Overall, if you already wanted the fastest of the fastest, it actually looks like a great deal. It's only like 25 bucks more. And you're getting what is effectively like a top 30% 9900K. So compared to what Silicon Lottery was charging for. Hans says, get you shots, kid. Let's see if I still have the mark from this morning. Well, whatever, my muscle's sore because that's where my flu shot went this morning. Why did I do that? All right. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm so sorry, guys. See you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.